Nice to meet you. Wahab and Bob, kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. What's your name, brother? Hamid. Okay, Abdul Wahab. Nice to meet you. Beautiful. What brought you over, my dear brother?
Oh, I've never seen a Quran before.
Really?
Is it in English or
Arabic? Yeah, it's in English, my brother. I wouldn't offer you one in Arabic. You wouldn't know what to do with it, right?
I'm actually Lebanese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So you can you read and understand Arabic. Okay, me either, bro. So we're in the same boat. My parents were in Pakistan, but I was born and raised in LA.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir. So the Quran is known. Do you know anything about the Quran? If you don't mind, I can share some information.
Old and New Testament. I've seen some videos online, or
Sure.
there's not really too much to learn about the Quran.
Well, there's actually, I would say there's a lot to learn about it, my brother. Like for instance, you mean there's not too much information to learn about the Quran?
The way the Christian groups are everywhere, there's all these other, I've never really seen like a Muslim Bible study or, Muslim, learn more about Islam.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, have you ever walked in a mosque before?
No.
Then you would.
Walk into a mosque.
Yeah, you can.
You gotta clean yourself, I thought.
No, that's not true, my brother. Yeah, you could walk into any mosque.
Like a special way, like you need to use a hose and clean yourself.
No. That's if you want to worship. If you want to pray, there's a special way to clean yourself. Obviously, same way, like let's say if you're going to go interview for a brand new job, right? You would go clean, right, to the interview, right, to meet your new boss.
I knew that. I knew that, when you come into a mosque, you have to clean yourself down.
So the process that we know, no, you could walk into a mosque, any mosque that you would like, you could feel free to. Okay, any mosque that you want to walk into, you could feel free to walk in. So there's probably a stereotype that you heard or something like that. But let's say if you have to worship, right? If you want to pray with the Muslims, then you would have to wash your hands, you have to wash your face, you have to wash your right arm, your left arm, and then your right foot and your left foot. So once you do that, then you're considered clean in the eyes of God. Then you could worship Almighty God. And obviously you would want to only worship Almighty God in a state of cleanliness, right? You wouldn't want to worship the Most High in a state of dirtiness.
You don't have to clean your butt.
Yeah. As Muslims, yes, we do clean ourselves because obviously, for instance, if nowadays most people they talk about tissue paper and stuff like that. I guarantee you, if you put like a whole blob of peanut butter on my hand and I try to clean it with tissue paper, it's not going to get rid of anything.
Little Arabia here, right? Like in Orange County.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've never been though.
They have all that, so you can clean yourself and the restroom really clean yourself and everything. It's really, I guess, a Muslim place because you have to. And the bathroom has everything for cleaning yourself.
Okay, interesting. That kind of reminds me of Dubai. Like I just came back from Dubai, and all the restrooms over there, they have the little, I think what is it called, the duvet or something like that? Bidet. It's called a bidet. Oh, beautiful.
I don't know about the mosque. I heard there's like a hole you wash your head over or something like that. Kind of.
No, just a sink, bro. Just a sink. Yeah. Just a normal sink, bro. Yeah. It's nothing crazy, bro.
You kind of need an introduction into it.
Yeah. I would say, yeah.
It's scary enough to walk into a church and to walking around into a mosque and maybe you're not dressed appropriately or you don't know, there's not too much. You're the first preacher I've seen going around talking about Islam. I've never seen
really?
Jehovah's Witnesses. There's everybody, so this is the first time I've had an experience to get some information.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm happy to be the first one to give you that information, my brother. So if you don't mind, I'll share with you a little bit about Islam, right? So Islam simply means submission to Almighty God, right? A Muslim is a person who chooses to submit their will to Almighty God. So as Muslims, we have a very simple belief that there's only one great supreme creator. And only that great supreme creator is worthy of worship. Full stop, right? He's the one who created me. He's the one that created you. He's the one who created all the humans around us today, including the entire earth and whatever it contains, was all created by that great creator, right? So what makes Islam different than any other religion, right, is that Islam is the only religion that follows that pure monotheism, to worship the creator and the creator alone without any partners and without any equals. And another thing that makes Islam unique compared to other religions is our idea of who the Almighty Creator is. For instance, we do not believe Almighty God is a human being. We do not believe Almighty God is a man or a woman, right? And nor do we believe Almighty God was born, right? So what we believe about Almighty God is different than other religions, what they believe about Almighty God. For instance, are you a Christian?
I was baptized Christian.
Okay.
I believe more in just a God, and I believe that there's a lot of stories that men have created.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
I don't think, to myself personally, I don't think anybody can describe God. I think these are man-made gods. I'm curious about the God that made man. So
Like, for instance, would you think that humans could kill God?
no,
No, right? Obviously, like, what? Like, obviously, yeah. So, for instance, so then you don't believe Jesus is God, then, right?
I don't know, but I believe in my own God. I believe more of that God is everything. Uh, I believe that. I don't know if you ever done mushrooms, but
I heard about mushrooms. Yeah.
I believe in kind of like what you see inside yourself. That I'm God, you're God, everything is God. There's nothing that's not God. I don't think when I die I'll be in heaven. I think, or if I kill somebody, I don't think I won't go to heaven. I think if you kill somebody, if you give the homeless money, whatever you do, we're all still going to the same place. It doesn't matter. I think that's going to be God. Or I don't think there will be. I don't think I will continue after this world. I don't think there will be any more me. But I think there'll still be God. So I'm not worried about not continuing myself. But I know that there'll be. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do understand a little bit what you're saying.
believe.
So I think what my understanding is the definition of God has been kind of lost throughout translation. Like, a lot of people, they say the word God, but they don't know what it means. So I think the problem is when Muslims say God, they're talking about a completely different entity. When non-Muslims are talking about God, it's not the same. So, for instance, I'll share with you a little bit about what Muslims believe about God, and that's why we believe that there could only be one true God. As Muslim, we do not believe that human beings could be God. Like, I've heard this saying before, that I'm God, you're God, we're all parts of God.
I feel like
Yeah.
all the Abrahamic religions, though, stem from a point where, we call it Allah, or some people
Allah.
say it's confused with the god Balal, Balal, or there's a multitude of gods in pre-Judaism, or even in Saudi Arabia, there's a whole polytheism before.
Yes, of course. Before Prophet Muhammad, yes.
Before the Jews or even Abraham said this is one God. Those many gods there. So when you research even Judaism or Christianity, they were a polytheism before they were a monotheism.
No. So I completely understand where you're coming from. So I'll go step by step and I'll answer all these questions. Okay, one by one. So first, I'm going to define who Almighty God is. So that way we have an understanding of who Almighty God is, and then we'll go on to the next step. What was the first religion? Okay, my brother. Cool. So what I'll do is what we do is I'm going to recite some phrases in Arabic, some of the verses of the Holy Quran. Right, I'll recite it in Arabic, and then I'll translate it for you in English, and this will explain to you who Almighty God is, and then we'll move on to your other questions. Okay, my brother. So I'm going to recite in Arabic the verses of the glorious Quran, and then I'll translate for you, okay? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. So it says right here in the glorious Quran, if you want you can open it up with me, right? It's page 374, chapter 112 of the glorious Quran. It's like basically on the last pages, right? So it says that in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, that He is Allah, one and indivisible, meaning He's absolutely one, and He cannot be divided into parts, right? And Allah, the sustainer, needed by all, meaning everyone and everything needs Allah, but Allah does not need anyone or anything. So when you say that humans, we could be gods too, for us, we don't believe that, because as human beings, we need things. We need water, we need food, we need rest, right?
Well,
We need things.
I don't know much about this. Does it have the Old Testament in it?
No. So as Muslims, right? I'll go ahead and finish this, and I'll go ahead and answer the rest of your question, right? He has never had offspring, nor was he born, and there's none comparable to him. So as human beings, we were born, so we cannot be God, right? And and there's none comparable to him. As human beings, we can all compare to each other, right? The Almighty Creator is uncomparable in any way, shape, or form, right? So now, to answer your next question that you just asked right now, what was the question that you just asked right now?
Is the Old Testament and the New Testament in the Quran?
No. So as Muslims, we do not take any authority from the Bible. Like, we don't
It's
believe,
the same God of Abraham.
we believe it's the same God, but we don't believe in the Bible as being authentic sources of information. So as for the Muslims, the Bible has no authority for us. So we don't take any
I
information.
know in the Old Testament it mentions like 30 gods, before they just said this is the God of Most High, and they shifted the wording, like when it mentions multiple gods and just the well from what I know of Christianity or the Old Testament, I knew the Jews prayed to other gods before they prayed to this one God, so. Uh, I knew that like Abraham just chose this one God to worship out of a multitude of gods. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll explain to you what happened, right? So in the beginning, right, it started with Adam and Eve. Those were the first human beings created, right? So when Almighty God created Adam and Eve and placed them on earth, right, they were all worshiping Allah, the one true God. So Adam and Eve, as they had children, right, she had 20 sets of twins, right? A boy and a girl. Every single time she was pregnant, she would have twins, right? A boy and a girl, boy and a girl, boy and a girl, right? And that's how they started populating the earth. So in the beginning, all the first early humans, they would all worship Allah alone, right? But then suddenly corruption and evil started seeping into mankind through the devil, which is known as the enemy of mankind. So the first sins to be committed was to have adultery, to have sex outside of marriage, and also to cheat on your spouse as well. So those were the first sins that would occur at that time, right? Then another sin that would occur at that time was also murder as well. Human beings would kill one another. So those were the only sins that were occurring at that time, would be murder, and then it would be sexual immorality, right? But humans would still worship the one God. But then there was a prophet called Enoch. Have you ever heard of the prophet named Enoch, right? So in Arabic, we refer to him as Idris, right? He was a great prophet of God. He was the first one who was taught how to write with the pen, right? And he was also the first one to go to war with evil, right? But obviously, Almighty God, right? He only had a limited life, right? Because obviously he's a human being, so he had to die one day. So when he did pass away, the human beings at that time that followed Enoch, they loved and adored Enoch tremendously, including his followers as well, right? But what the devil wanted to do is wanted to introduce idol worship some way, somehow. So what he did, right, is after Enoch passed away, what he did is he created an idea within the people, saying that, Enoch was such a great man, and the followers of Enoch were such a great men as well, that we should create a figure, that way we could remember these great people. So they said, you know what, this is not a bad idea. We'll just create like a big monument to remember these great people, right? How you guys doing? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing? Assalamu alaikum, Abdul Wahab. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So these are English Qur'ans. This is Spanish. This is English. Which one would you like? How many would you like?
Just one I want to see.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And then I'm going to just continue talking to the guests then.
Because I never
I'm about
see.
to get back to my girlfriend because she's getting. I've left her for a long time, but I
Okay, no worries.
So Muhammad wrote all these stories.
No. So this is revealed to the Prophet Muhammad through Angel Gabriel. So let me just finish the story of idol worship and then you can go, okay? So I'll just explain. Wa alaikum assalam. So I'll just finish the story of how idol worship was introduced, right? So after Enoch and his companions passed away, right? So then the devil basically came in the form of a human being and introduced the idea that you should worship these monuments and you should use these monuments and create these monuments in order to remember these great men, right? So then they said, okay, there's no problem with that. The generation after that, he said, hey, you should create some imagery on these monuments so that you can remember what they look like. They said, okay, there's no problem with that. Then the generation after that, he said that, hey, your forefathers used to worship these monuments in order to get closer to God, right? And that was one of the biggest deceptions that was used at that time. Because at that time, everybody, they worshiped the one God alone. But then this is the first time where idolatry was introduced to mankind. And that's when idolatry took over the entire globe. So it always started off with monotheism. Then idolatry was introduced. And then all idolatry took over the globe. You understand? And then that's when Noah came as a prophet of God to get rid of idolatry. Cool. So I just wanted to share that story with you. Okay, my brother?
Sorry, I didn't want.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Hey, God bless you, my brother. I'd love to offer you some other gifts as well. I'd love to offer you a prayer mat for the holy city. Yeah. What color would you like? The white one?
Is it like a prayer blanket?
Yeah. So what it is, my brother, it is a travel bag, right?
Okay.
And then inside, right, is a prayer mat from the Holy City, right? So
Okay,
this one is a beautiful one. It's white and gold, all beautiful colors, hand stitched, handmade, all from the Holy City as a gift from me to you. Okay, my brother? Of course,
I
my
wish I had
brother.
more time. I'm sorry. I
No,
don't
no
make
problem, no problem, man. I
it-
appreciate whatever time you did give me. It's another book, A Brief Illustrated Guide to Understanding Islam. Okay, and I'll love to offer
Are
you
you
one
here
more
in Los
gift.
Angeles?
Yeah, I live here in LA, my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which mosque do you go to?
I go to the ones in the valley. Here, this one. This is
you
a.
want like my contact information or something?
If you want, do you have Instagram or anything like
I
that?
don't have Instagram, but I can give you my phone number if you want to tell me more.
So the best way, I think, it would just, you can find me on YouTube. I am the Warner on YouTube, and then you can find more information over there. Okay.
Okay.
Cool, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Sounds
Thank
good. It
you,
was a
thank you,
pleasure
thank you,
meeting.
thank
What
you.
was your name again?
Bob.
Bob. Okay, beautiful.
Thank you.
I won't forget that. Wahab Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. It was a pleasure meeting you. Okay, my brother. Well, hey, so am I your first Muslim that you met, basically?
No,
The first Muslim
my
preacher?
wife, the first one to teach me. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
beautiful,
Thank you,
beautiful,
thank you,
man.
thank you so much.
All right, sounds good, man. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Okay, my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up?
تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير